Hi, I'm Pati and welcome back to A Small Geeky Chica Figures. Today we're doing entry number 13 in my Nendoroid Collection series, number 567, Marth, from the hit game Fire Emblem. This one came out in 2016 and I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered it around that time. Now that I think about it, I'm not 100% sure why I got Marth. I think this came out around the time Fire Emblem Awakening was very popular, if I remember correctly. And I really love Lucina from that game, and you know, she dresses up like Marth. So they never made a Lucina Nendoroid. The closest they had was with the Marth, so I think that's why I got it. Sometimes why I got this one is a mystery, since I've never played the Fire Emblem where Marth is the protagonist. I should. I'm just really bad at Fire Emblem games. But I did like to play him sometimes in Smash, though I think I tended to play Roy more. So if there was a Roy one, I would probably get that one too. But anyway, here we have Marth. He comes with a bunch of swords that you can kind of see in there. He comes in a lot of fighting poses with his different swords. He has a little special effect. It seems like he's doing a big attack. Let's see what else. He comes with this little crown. So a lot of pieces that actually can move around, which we will see, which are cute, but can be kind of a pain to pose. Kind of like my Sakura Nendoroid. A lot of movable parts, not always very cooperative. But we'll try to see what poses we can put him in. But yeah, he comes with his sword and his shield, not unlike Link, and he does look really adorable. So let's get him out of the box and check him out. As you can see, Marth still comes in the bigger box compared to newer Nendoroids that come in the smaller box. Like I said, I got him back in 2016, so all of my older Nendoroids come in this set. So why don't we just get him out of here and then we can take a look. So here's Marth in his blister pack. He only comes with 2 faces, but he comes with 3 different swords, the sheath, a shield, special effects, and a bunch of different hand poses, depending what sword he's holding. Plus, like usual, he comes with his little booklet and his stand. So right here we can see all the sword pieces and how you're supposed to attach the different ones. If you want to put his sheath on his belt, there's a little instructions here of how to do it. And here are the instructions on how to put the effect on the sword. But other than that, he's a pretty standard Marth, so a pretty standard Nendoroid. So let's get him out of here, and then we can put him in a couple of poses, and then I can show you why he's one of more frustrating Nendoroids to pose. So here you have your standard stand, but this one is kind of a more peculiar, can I even say that word? Looking stands. Is not the same shape that they usually come in. But I guess it's to make it easier to pose it. We'll see how hard or easy that will be. But yeah, here is Marth in his standard little calm smile. See, he has his little cape. His hands are covered in gloves, and they're very bendable right here. Which, if I'm thinking of my other Nendoroids, what's kind of special about this Nendoroids, it makes me think of Nendoroid doll arms a little bit more. How bendable they are. Usually, for the other Nendoroids we've seen so far, their arms are either all straight or you switch an arm to have a bent position. This one, he can actually move at his elbows, but as you can see, it's pretty easy for it to come apart. So you can start to see why I find this Nendoroid, while extremely cute, very frustrating. So then we have his cape, which also has a joint down there, so you can move it around and make it very fancy. But as you notice, his cape does not have the stand hole. It's still in his back right there, and you can see that this belt is quite loose and can easily move around, which again adds to, let's say, it makes him more posable, but it also makes posing him kind of frustrating because it just moves really easily. And you can also move around. See, everything falling apart. dropped his case. And okay, so like I said, a lot of these parts have joints, so you can move them around and like make them flare out and pose. Of both his arms are coming off now. So you can make his posing a lot more dynamic than some other Nendoroids, but that also makes him more frustrating to pose, as you can see, when everything starts to fall apart. So that's why I don't use him for my Nendoroid photography as often. I do have a couple, but he's just kind of frustrating to pose. I do like his little, is it a crown? Yeah, let's just call it a crown. It is part of his hair right there. And like most Nendoroids, you can easily just swap out his face. So let's put it on his other face. Boop. And put him ready to in fight mode. Ta-da! But yeah. He comes with 3 swords. And if you played his Fire Emblem game, which right now is spacing on the name, but it probably mean a lot more to you than they do to me. But yeah, rapier style. It's probably the big bad sword that he gets. And yeah, he can use any of the 3. It was in that order. Plus he has his shield, which like Link's shield has the little piece that he can grab onto, and then it also has the joint so you can move it and pose it as needed. He also has the sheath to his sword that has a little nub right there that goes into his belt. I don't know if you can see, but there's a hole right there that this is supposed to go into. It's being a little challenging to put in. And let's see, should be able to put this sword in here. Yeah, you can put this sword in that one. Cute. Let's see, can I put his sheath into the belt? Okay, so now you can see his sheath goes in there. And yeah, there we go. We can put it like that. So it's kind of just dangling there and will easily come off if you're not too careful. See, we can keep it on for a bit. So these pieces, they also have a little R there so you know what side it's from, and the back one doesn't have one. So let's see if we can put his I wanted to say skirt, but it's not a skirt. But let's just call his skirt back together. The flare on his tunic. So you see, the point of all these joints to make him more flexible and posable. The result is just me being a lot more frustrated. And as you can see, we have a bunch of little 6 extra hand pieces. They are protected by this like sticky piece of plastic. I guess we'll call it a little tape to make sure they don't fall out. We'll just put that back on there. And then, shall we give him this sword? So we take one of his mini sword hands. You can tell. So this one's a sword hand because it has a little space right there. Let's see, Marth, you are right-handed. There you go. Got the little piece of the sword right there. And then let's give you your shield. Trying to recreate this pose. See if we can do it. It's very dynamic. Okay, now we need to find the left hand that holds the shield. Which I believe is this one, because this one is the one that has the hole for it. Let's take out this hand. Put it back in there. So he has 2 open hands, 2 fists. Looks like another hand that can hold a sword, and then 1 open palm hand. Let's see, where is the open palm hand? The open palm is probably used for holding his sheath. me just double check 1 second right there. Does it have a little hole? Yes. So this one, you can't really see it very well on camera, but it has a little hole in the middle of his palm. So that is where you can attach the sheath to it. You want it to hold in his hand. And then, which hand is this one? This is another sword holding hand. Can't really see it, sorry. Another, if you will focus this close, yeah. Another sword holding hand. This one's just, his fingers are poking out a little bit more compared to like the other one that has a firmer close grip. Okay, let's see if we can put his arms back together. Oh, and I hadn't mentioned, but his legs also have the knee joints to get him to pose instead of having like Hinata and Kageyama who would have separate legs to have them in the jumping pose. Marth has actual little joints at the knees, so you don't need a separate leg part. But again, extra flexibility, more frustration. His sheath has come all the way around. Like, I wish there was some way to get this to not shift around so much. But this, and there might be maybe a better pose where it like holds better. If anybody knows, please let me know, because for me, this just goes everywhere and doesn't like to like quite stay in its place. Yeah, I don't see a way of just getting his thing to just stay in one spot and not spin around like crazy. And as you can tell, I haven't used this Nendoroid in a bunch. So sometimes the plastic has warped a little bit, so some of them are hard to get into their spot or are too loose and just keep falling off. And it is... So we are missing his cape. And then should we get his cape in? Hopefully we'll be done with his pose. You know, if his sheath wants to stay on. Okay, I don't think you want to have the sheath there. I don't really need it for this pose, but feels incomplete without it there, and then the cape falls off. Yeah, this is one I definitely recommend. Get him into a good pose, get him into a spot where he's not going to be moving much, and just kind of just keep him there. Otherwise, he is just falling apart at the seams. Okay, there, we've recreated the pose as best as I could. But like you've seen how much trouble I've had just to get him into this pose. Every time I put one piece in, another piece falls out. And as cute as he is, and I think he's a really beautifully designed one, like, I think he looks awesome. Just like my Sakura Nendoroid, he's just a pain to pose. So I don't do it very often, so I don't use him as often as I would like in Nendoroid photography. But he's still a pretty awesome Nendoroid, I must admit. I'm just sad there's no Lucina one, because that's what I really wanted. But instead I have this Marth, and maybe someday I'll play his Fire Emblem game. Hey, if you've actually played the game, why don't you let me know? Do you recommend it? Do you have this Nendoroid? Do you have as much trouble setting him up like I do? Drop me a comment and let me know. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video and want to continue watching my Nendoroid Collection videos, give me a like and subscribe. I upload Nendoroid Collection videos or unboxing videos every Friday about 11 a.m. Pacific time. There's a whole bunch more. We haven't even seen like a 10th of my collection so far. This one's number 13, and I have right now, I believe, about 146 and counting. I have to double check my charts to know for sure. And I definitely have a lot more in my pre-order, so we're gonna be doing this Nendoroid Collection video series for a while. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye!